today on Tuesday. We're not talking about the colour pink, we're talking about apartments in Davao City. What's the difference between an apartment and a bed space? We're not doing condos, we're not doing houses, we're doing apartments. 10,000 peso. Okay, a couple of months ago I did some vlogs and they were about condos and houses, and today it's about apartments. Now there is a difference when you look at apartments and condos here. Condos are in high rises up to 16 floors, 17 floors, 18 floors high. Come with swimming pools and everything else like that. Apartments don't. Apartments will be in a block, and normally 11 apartments, maybe 12 apartments, 6 on the bottom floor, 6 on the second floor. Might go 3 stories. I've not seen many 3 stories. I see them at 2 stories. Some are on subdivisions. Some are just in normal barangays. You'll be riding along a street, and on the right hand side, on the left hand side or the right hand side, there'll be a modern style building with lots of little doors, a little balcony, which is normally the walkway, and you can see them. And then they'll have a gate on the front of it to put a little parking area where you can put your motor, or you can turn around and put your car, or you can put your van, or you can just walk. Normally on the end wall they've got the electric meters and the water meters directly on the wall, which is good for you. So that's a little bit about apartments. Bed space, you can get a bed space here which is just a small room with a bed in it, as it says, bed space. You might have washing facilities along the corridor, which you share with everybody. You might have a dirty kitchen that you share with everybody, and you have a communal eating area that you'll share with everybody. Bed spaces run from around 2,000 peso a month up to about 8,000, 9,000 peso a month. They're normally in older types of properties. In downtown areas, or in somebody's house, and that's what you'll see. You don't see many male bed spaces available. It's normally lady bed spaces available, suitable for lady, because the whole unit will be taken up by ladies, and they don't want a guy in there being rampant. Yeah. So that's a bed space. But we're going to turn around and deal with
Faster and faster, the tears and the laughter. I'm here for the
I'm going to attach some pictures, and those pictures are of current apartments today, 26th of April, that are on Lumudi, Lumadi, Lamuda. I'll miss the N out before the D, and Marketplace on Facebook. They're the two sites that I always use, and the reason I use those sites is because if it's on Marketplace, you can actually get the telephone number and the contact details, and if you ring, that person wants to rent that property ASAP, doesn't want to wait around 2 or 3 months, wants to rent now. When it's on Lamuda or Lumudi, it's a little bit long term. The person might be overseas, the person might not be available that week to turn around and show you the apartment. But the apartments I'm showing you, there are, I think it's 5 or 6 good pictures, and then there's one of a not so salubrious one. Now we're talking 10,000 peso a month, okay, and to get that apartment, what you would need to turn around and do is put 2 months deposit down and 1 month rent, okay. Some people ask for 3 months deposit and 1 month's rent. Some apartments won't rent their apartments long term or short term to Chinese or Koreans, because Chinese and Koreans do lots of damage to apartments. So it's not beneficial for the person that's renting the apartment in the apartment block to keep spending a lot of money to repair, put doors back, put electric sockets back in, put light bulbs back in, repair the damage. I don't know what it is with Koreans, and I don't know what it is with Chinese, but every time and I've not done it for the last 4 years, I was making inquiries, the first question was asked of me, am I Chinese? Am I Korean? And when you go around and have a look at it, look at the apartment, the person turns around and says, oh, okay, this is it, no problem. We want to rent to foreigners long term, preferably Western foreigners. So if you're coming from the US or Canada or France or Italy or Germany or UK, you've got a better chance at a good price, because you're respected. If you're coming from China, Korea, Vietnam or somebody like that, some countries like that, then there is an issue for you. You can't. That's why you lose your deposit. Yeah. It's not just happened a couple of times that I know of. That's happened a lot to people I know. That people are renting in apartheid blocks or apartment blocks turn around and give me that feedback. Anyway, so you found an apartment, you're looking at the area, and the area here in Davao is pretty cool. You can get cheaper if you go to Tagum, and you can get cheaper if you go to Digos. Cebu I don't really know too much about, okay, and Manila, I don't go to Manila. Yeah, you're going to be talking 30,000 a month easily, plus your electric, plus your water, plus your internet, plus your food, plus your transport, plus the place is a madhouse. So do you really want that if you're going to come and live in the Philippines? I don't know. Me, I want a simpler life. So anyway, I've had, when I first arrived here, I rented an apartment, and that was a small apartment, had a small kitchen, small bathroom, double bed, TV, AC, 7,000 pesos a month, including electricity, including the Wi-Fi, including the water. That apartel is still available today, and if you're interested, I can give you that details if you put it in my comment below, and you can then turn around and talk to them. And if you're coming here, you can turn around, spend 2-3 months looking for where you would like to live, rather than just flying in and then having booked something when you're outside the UK. outside of the Philippines, sorry. Anyway, and then the current place I've got is at it's a subdivision, and it's on indigo bunting, calla lily, very, very nice size. Got a kitchen, it's got a bathroom, it's got an AC unit. I have to pay for my electric, I have to pay for my water. My water's $200 a month, and my electric is around 3.3 at the moment. It will go up because it's hot outside now, so it might top out about 4 or 5. I don't have a heater, which is a power shower. You don't need that here. I tell you, people surround say, "Oh, I need a power shower." Great, but I tell you what, I use a lot of electricity. It's 3 kilowatt, and you run it for 30 minutes a day. All of a sudden, you're up to 15 kilowatts a month, and 15 kilowatts will be about 1,000 pesos on your electricity bill. So I don't use a power shower. I want to cool down. I don't want to be hotter. Anyway, so Bahada's a nice place, and then you've got Mintal, and you've got Bakaka. Now, if you're up at Bakaka, which is up near Diversion Road, the problem on Bakaka is it's very difficult to get into the downtown area, down to Chinatown and the back of Davao, because there's no jeepneys that run that route. You have to turn around and either get a taxi or have to get a hubble. 9 times out of 10, it's a taxi. So if you see, and there's one of these apartments is actually in Bakaka, it's a lovely apartment, don't get me wrong. You have to supply your own furniture, but it's a nice apartment, but it's difficult to get to and from. Okay. Now, other apartments that you need to look for, the things you need to look for, is you need to make sure you've got an AC unit. Yeah. You need to make sure you've got a bed. You need to make sure you've got a small cooking area. I've got a small balcony, which is great because it gets very, very hot. And if you don't get the air circulating in your room, it does become a bit stifling. Now, if you're looking at your apartment, make sure you ask the person, is it a east or west facing apartment? If it's west, it will get hot from around about 12 o'clock until about 6 o'clock every day as the sun decides to set, getting hotter and hotter from 1 to 3 o'clock, and then cooling down from about 6, 7, 8 or 9. And then in the morning it's quite chilly because the sun rises in the east. But if you find out that you've got a west facing, I've got a west facing, it does get hot in the afternoon. If mine was an east facing, it would be cooler in the evening but hotter in the morning, and the sun comes up around 5, so it starts to get hot from 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. It doesn't really matter which way you're facing, it's just a preference you need to understand. Because if you're sitting outside in the morning, it's great to have a breeze, a little bit of sunshine. If you're sitting outside in the morning and it's a breeze and it's scorching hot, and when you want to wake up in the morning, you want a cup of coffee and be out on the balcony, you've got to worry then about burning, about sunblock. If it's in the afternoon and you're out on your balcony and it's cooling down, you've got to have a little consideration about mosquitoes. Now, there are apartments, and as I said, they're 10,000 is where we're looking at today on those apartments. Now, if you get an apartment in a condominium, call them studio, anything to rent them, you're talking a lot more, and I mean a lot more. Double it, quite easily double it, maybe even actually add another 8 or 9 on top of it. 1,000 peso, that is a month. I've seen studio condos up for rent at 35,000 peso a month. The reason being is that's what the mortgage is on that rental. Okay, that's what the mortgage is. The person who's bought it, it's costing them around 20,000 peso a month to turn around and pay the bank, but it's also costing around 10,000 peso a month for the management fees, the management dues to the management company that do the condos. So I'm keeping away from that today. This is about apartments. So this is about places that don't have a swimming pool. Okay, they don't have gymnasiums. They don't have sky gardens. They don't have underground parking. They might have a small parking area out the front. They got a small walkway that goes up to the room. There might be 8 or 9 apartments together in this little block. You know, they can be down in Agdal, or they could be in Bahada. They could turn around and be over in Castellion. They could be down near what's it called, Turil. They could be over at, as I said, Mintal. They could actually be in Bangkal. They could be in Buhanging. Could be in Kapitian. They could be in Sasa. They could be in Pampanga. So they're all areas that you might find this apartment. Whether you like the area the apartment is in is up to you. You need to turn around and go and view it, and that's why I just made the suggestion. Maybe contact Mango Hill, a cartel, and have a look at theirs, just so you're settled down and you're settled in. I don't get anything for this, guys. I don't turn around and get a commission or a kickback from the person that have got the cartel. The reason I moved out of Mango Hill was because they changed their water supply from a fresh water supply to a pumped water. So they drilled a borehole down into the water table and then started pumping up the water and using the water from the water table, which meant that they didn't need to pay Des Moines or the local water company any money to put in the pipe work. And it was okay for 8 or 9 months for me, 10 months for me, but after that I needed something a little bit bigger. I needed something a little bit closer to town, closer to the city. At the moment I'm close to a jeepney route, about 200 metres from a jeepney route, and you can get a pedicab down to the jeepney. Jeepney runs along JP L'Oreal, and that runs all the way down to Jimal, all the way over to Rojas, all the way out to Mintal, and you can get all the way down to the bus station, and then you can catch a bus station. So it's 20 peso to get the jeepney down to the bus depot, and then your bus can turn around and take you anywhere on the overland down at Ecoland. From 400 pesos over to Digos return to 3,800 to Manila one way. Okay, you can go to any of the islands using the overland, but you need to turn around and make sure. Wait there, look. It's Marie and George. Anyway, I'm going to make a move.